Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take a look here at DOGECOIN, see what's going on. Pretty much performing exactly as expected from before, at least the previous playout, bouncing on this 0.618 fib level. So that is a good area of consideration for another long. That's pretty much right where we're at right now. And the decent chance that we're going to continue higher from here, pending Bitcoin doesn't continue to run. So unfortunately, today is the caveat of like, if Bitcoin doesn't pull back any further, we're going to be just fine. That's kind of how it works with altcoins right now, just because we're seeing that dynamic shift with Bitcoin dominance. I'll cover that here soon. I have a crypto market update daily that's typically released in the afternoons. And if you're not familiar with that, check that out. But for right now, let's go ahead and double check some important factors here. We can go ahead and see that we are running, concurrent with this descending trend. So by no means are we just like back on track magically because we're in our 0.618 golden pocket support range. It doesn't mean a lot if there's confluence confirming we're going to see a lower price point. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of where we're at there. The macro point of control is at about 16.7. The price came really close out here locally. So the tentative bottom should be in, but once more, we want to be cautious and optimistic, not like ridiculous and emotional. Okay, so taking a look here at Dogecoin, let's look at the back end liquidation data. Get started with this here, kind of go from there. Please hit the like button too, folks. Like every single video. You could really greatly appreciate, or I would greatly appreciate it. It would really help grow the channel, get this in front of more people, and prevent those moon boys from telling everybody everything's going straight up. It doesn't always work out that way, folks. Having said that, let's take a look here. 18.5 is that upper liquidation range, and we got 16 even as a lower area. So we got some late longs here. Presumably a good idea actually too to buy the local bottom, the double bottom. That's generally a good sign. So I don't fault anybody for taking a long in the 16-cent range, but we do got to be mindful that the low 16-cent range does have the last area of concentration for liquidation. So if the price does pull back further, that would be a secondary consideration for a long. When we look here though, liquidation delta is bearish. Okay, so we got way more shorts than longs in the market right now for this coin, and that's not a really good sign. Keep in mind, most coins are exuding the same behavior. So, if Bitcoin continues lower, people will keep shorting. But if Bitcoin runs sideways for a little bit, I think we're due to relax and recuperate here soon. There's a lot of little things we got to look at though. Just know liquidation delta is bearish, and that's never a great sign in the short term. Let's take a look at the macro here for open interest and kind of recognize where we're at here. First of all, when it comes to open interest, we can see the heaviest concentration at 16 cents, roughly between 16 and 16.6. So we have a lot of positions open at that point. So we got the most interest there with a pretty significant gap below that. So last line of defense is that low 16-cent range. Daily time frame, let's go ahead and double check this here and recognize that we're still maintaining above the 50 and the 20-day SMA. This is generally a favorable sign. And we do, again, zoom out with this macro point of control. Looks like it's changed a little bit, but we can see that we are right there, 17.1. We're pretty much at that point of control here right now locally. Okay, so it's not a bad sign. That's actually a very good sign. We're averaging into our current most interested area of concentration. We can see on the daily time frame, we are stochastically swinging down. MACD's diverging. We're right there at 50 on the RSI though. So if Bitcoin does stay in this 94K range, I think we're more likely to go higher with Dogecoin. But you got to recognize we have established lower highs so far, lower lows rather, and that's generally not a favorable sign. And when you look at the 4-hour, we can recognize that we're below all moving averages, and the last line of defense here is about 16.6. So when I talked previously, that low to upper 16-cent range is still a good consideration for a long, pending Bitcoin doesn't do anything stupid and obnoxious here. But if we take a look here, we can see our previous high working as a new low. There's a lot of reasons why the price is more likely to go higher, just based on it deriving from the upside here, or downside rather. Okay, when it derives from the downside, typically double or triple bottoms will hold and the price continues higher up. Because once more, we have momentum to the upside. All that being said, the 4-hour time frame doesn't look terrible, but most altcoins are looking not great. That's the best way to describe it. We're kind of all hanging out in the lower 30s for the RSI. We're right there with our moving average. MACD hasn't converged yet. Stochastic's like the only early indication that we're going to turn around right now. And that's never a good indication too. So try not to be that person that tries to find a hero play at this low level. Granted, you can find some success here taking a long right now, but I think it's almost a coin flip. Okay, so this coin, probably 55-60% probability going up versus going down. And the main reason why I say that is just because of Bitcoin and how underwhelming it is right now. Okay, so the key takeaway here I'd say is that we got some nice support in this area. averaging in the 16-cent range makes sense. But try not to be too presumable that we're just going to go straight up from here, because we're still establishing lower highs and lower lows. While it is somewhat of a flag type of descending bullish channel, it doesn't necessarily tell us that we're just going to take off yet. We've got to see where Bitcoin goes, and Bitcoin is, once more, not performing super awesome lately. So I think it's best to just kind of wait on a coin like this. I would say low 16-cent range makes a lot more sense to consider averaging in. But once more, that's just me being a patient trader. I missed a lot of opportunities. So what are your thoughts? Why don't you comment below? Let me know where you're at with this. Join us over at Bitunix too, folks. Make sure you take advantage of this exclusive deposit bonus between now and May 14th. Awesome exchange, no KYC or VPN required. Also, check us out over on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord here. If you kind of see, there's a pretty good amount of content here available for you. So make sure to check that out if you can. All right, folks. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you soon.